All right, sixth graders, listen. In lesson 2 and 3, we're gonna learn about adding integers. What's an integer again?
It's a positive and negative number.
Good, it's a positive and negative whole number. Integers are specifically positive and negative whole numbers. So we're not going to add fractions yet. We're not going to add decimals yet. We're just going to stick with whole numbers, like these. What does this say? Read that, Daria.
5 degrees plus 2 degrees equals 7 degrees.
Yeah, so if you're at 5 degrees, the temperature is 5 degrees, and it goes up 2 degrees, it's
7 degrees.
7 degrees, yep. Read this, Max.
Negative 5 degrees plus negative 2 degrees equals negative 7 degrees.
Yeah, negative 5 degrees, so if it's negative 5 degrees outside, and you add negative 2 degrees, meaning that the temperature drops 2 degrees. We're not adding positive 2 degrees, we're adding negative 2 degrees. And if you add 2 negatives, the answer is more negative. Okay? Does that make sense? Does everybody, Emily, listen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, good. So, if two numbers that you're adding have the same sign, meaning if they're both positive, the answer is a higher number. It's a higher value. If they're both negative, you add the two numbers together, or you could say you add their absolute values together, and the answer is more negative. A negative plus a negative is more negative. A positive plus a positive is more positive. All right? Now, if the numbers have different signs, then you have to find the difference. Okay? You have to use the sign of the number that's farthest from 0 after you find the difference. So in other words, let's say that you're starting at negative 5 degrees, a negative amount, and you're adding a positive amount. You have to find the difference between these two numbers. What's the difference between negative 5 and 2, positive 2?
One's a positive and one's a negative.
Yeah, so if you start at negative 5 and you go to the right 2 because you're adding 2, you end up at, not 3, you end up at negative 3. Okay? Or, in this example, if you're starting at 7 on number line, and then you go to the right, go to the left, negative 9. You're going to go past 0 and end up at negative 2. Okay? How did we get these numbers? Well, 5 minus 2 is negative 3. Sorry, negative 5 minus plus 2. Or 5 minus 2, the difference is 3. And we're more negative, so the answer is negative. Okay? In this one, you're starting at 7, and you're adding a number that's higher than 7, a higher absolute value, which means you're going to go past 0 and end up at negative 2. Right? Let's do some more examples. Nope. I want you to draw this out with me, okay? And write this down. This is important. Write this down. Write this down. Each pair of positive and negative equals 0. Each pair of positive and negative equals 0. Here's how I want you to think of this. If you were going to draw out a model to show your little brother or sister what this is, how to find the difference. Okay? So suppose you're starting with negative 5. Okay? Start with -5. And now what I want you to do is draw 5 negative signs and circle them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Draw 5 negative signs and circle them. Okay? Now, we're going to add 4 positives. So -5 plus 4. So draw 4 plus signs. 1, 2, 3, 4. And circle them. Pretty simple, right? Now, read what this says again. Each pair of one positive and one negative equals 0. So to find the difference in the two, you cross out a pair, because this is 0, this is 0, this is 0, this is 0, and you're left with 1 negative. Yeah, -1. Whatever's left over is the difference between the two. Okay? It's simple, but it takes a little bit to make sure that you understand and you get them right every time. Okay? Here's another way to think of this. When putting positive and negative numbers together, or adding them, the answer is always the difference between their absolute values. What's the difference of -5? The absolute value of -5 is 5. And the absolute value of 4 is 4. And when you subtract them, or you find the difference between the two, it's -1. Okay? It's negative because there are more negatives. But the difference is of their absolute value is 1. Alright? So, let's go to your assignment. Go to page... I knew you'd be excited about that. Go to page 260. Page 260. Let's start with the number 3. They give us a model similar to the one that I first gave you. It's a number line. And this is something that you will have to understand and be able to do on the test. Okay? Now, draw out this number line, starting at 0, and go to -3. And then from there, go to -5. So there's 2 segments. The first one goes from 0 to -3, and the second one goes from -3 to -5. What addition problem could you write? This is the answer. Wherever it ends up is the answer. So what could you write for an addition problem that this is the model for? Bryce?
5 plus 2.
Start with this amount. Negative what?
3.
-3. So we're at -3 plus what? Me? -2 equals -5. See, there's a move of -3 and then another move of -2. Okay? Nate?
Or you could do -5 plus 8 minus, like, plus -3 equals 2.
No, -5 plus -3 is -8. All right? This is starting at 0, going to -3, and then going to -5. Let's do number 4. Here's another model. Again, draw a number line. Start at 0. And in the first move, it goes to +5. Oops. There we go. So it goes to +5. What would we start with then? Our first number in the number sentence. What's the first move? 5. Start with 5. Then in the second line, or the second move, it goes all the way to the left to -4. How are we going to get from 5 to -4? Add what? -9. So this is +5, and then a move to the left. -9. 5 plus -9. Okay? Do you see how you read this? You're going to have to read these on the test, like this. Okay? Now, let's see. I guess I won't have you draw the plus and minus model. I'll just have you work on the rest of. You can use the models as a visual to help you, but do 5 through 17. 5 through 17 on that page as your assignment, okay? Do 5 through 17.